Never is when you get called into the big dog's office. It's
Nope,
generally not a good thing.
nope. So yeah, he gets me in the office. I see Carter Allen was in there, the midday guy,
Mm.
which was unusual because during that time of the year he would take Fridays off, so he'd get like 3 day weekend because he's like, fuck, I don't mind working on Christmas. He's like, there's nobody here. I like that. I was like, shit, given the environment, I don't blame you. So takes me in the office and does the whole like, yeah, we're going in a new direction. We can't have people acting like this, and we're gonna let you go.
Mm,
And gave me a severance package of like 3 weeks.
man.
Yeah, and just the
And then
further
Braden was right behind you, right? By
Braden,
like
yeah, Braden,
minutes or something.
yeah, dude. So I'm driving home. I don't have the radio. Like it's just silence the entire drive. I'm so fucking pissed. So I get like a text message from one of the guys, Kevin. I get a voicemail from the other guy, Pete, on the show, and I get
Hmm.
a voicemail from Braden. And like I listened to like the voicemails, and like Braden's was just like, "Hey man, I know this sucks. This happened to you." He's like, "Don't feel too bad." He's like, "I was 5 minutes behind you." He's like, he
Jeez.
was like, they had one of the web guys like come to me, get the passwords for like their Facebook, for the fucking um like all the social media, the blog pages, all that shit. He's like, they got the passwords from me. He's like, and then I was out the door. He's like, they escorted me out.
Damn. Isn't that kind of fucked up how they're like, yeah, you need to give us all your passwords because we weren't responsible enough to get them in the first place? Like, shouldn't you already have that shit? Like, whatever. That's a whole other can of bees. But like,
Yeah,
what was the reason for getting rid of Braden? I
honestly,
mean, because he mentioned a couple times that I guess you guys could be a little provocative, and he mentioned the thing about you saying something like an abortion or something on air, and like that is definitely pushing the envelope. But like, he almost made it sound like you guys were actively pushing buttons to piss people off, and I was
well,
just curious, like, because he never really answered like what exactly happened. I can understand maybe he doesn't want to reveal too much because he's still working in radio and he doesn't want to get fucked in his new job. But like, I don't know. Do you remember like actively poking the bear, so to speak, or?
here's the thing, man. You don't know if you're breaking the rules if you don't know what the rules are.
That's very true.
Like if somebody asked me for a movie review and I said, this movie was a cinematic abortion, like I don't know, I'm breaking a taboo fucking rule there. It's like, well, okay, like I'm trying to paint an illustration here that this sucks. This is terrible.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, here's a meaning, guys. Sorry. Um,
Oh.
but I think with Braden, I think it kind of like came down to two things. I think it was like the program director just thought he was just trying to provoke him, just to kind of "Oh, I'm trying to be funny, trying to be edgy," and I think
Hmm.
ultimately it comes down to the Jim Ross philosophy. It comes down to cash and creative.
Hmm.
Like Braden was making good money doing that, and then what was it? The He was telling me the guy they got to replace him was making, I think it was like a little bit less than like a quarter of what he made when he left.
Oh man.
Yeah, like the guy that replaced me, like I no issues with that guy. Like he was presented with an opportunity. I don't blame him for fucking taking that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, he was essentially getting paid the same I was getting paid, which was like $10 an hour. That's it.
That's the thing is once they know that they can pay somebody far, far cheaper, they're gonna jump on that. Especially if, if they think that, hey, there's comparable experience and whatnot, and that's what they're gonna do because it's cheaper.
Yeah,
It's bullshit, but what are you gonna do, man?
yeah, it's insane. But like here's the thing too. Like the guy that replaced me, what's his name? Jackson. He actually like kind of lived like within a reasonable distance of the station.
Hmm.
So like paying him $10 an hour, like all right, yeah, like he doesn't have to like pay for gas or car payments or shit like that.
Hmm.
You know, he probably has like maybe I don't know if he had like a friend like drop him off at the station in the morning or like if he would walk to the station or it's like they don't have subways that are running that early in the morning.
Hmm. Yeah, because you guys, I imagine, have to be there pretty early because the show starts at what, like 6 or something like that?
Started at 5:30, but I was usually there at like 5 o'clock.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which for
Uh,
you to get there, like it probably took you what, a good like hour or so just to get there in the first place.
yeah, like
So
I would have to leave at like 3:30 in the morning.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
So you were probably up at what, like 2:30 in the morning?
somewhere around that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's nuts. That's the thing. That's dedication, man, on a whole like another level that just goes again completely unappreciated.
Yeah.
And then I mean I guess they look at it as well, yeah, but that's the job and you're getting paid for the job. But it's like, okay, but like consider you like you said in your thing about getting your raise, like, okay, but you hired me to answer the phones.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing that, but I'm also producing segments and getting guests and I'm not just doing that job anymore. So now like the price of poker's gone up, you know?
Yeah.
And yet here I am still making the same money. So
Yeah.
that's
And
bullshit.
for like the first, like, I think it was like the first 2 years where I was, answering phones. I was working. It was supposed to be from 5:30 in the morning until 9 in the morning because like that last hour of the show, they didn't really take phone calls or anything like that. But during that last hour, I would still be, productive. I was still like editing podcasts on the fly or just recording bits for the show or just doing whatever was needed. Essentially, I was off the clock for that hour, but I was still working.
Hmm.
So I mean, they got a lot of fucking hours just unpaid.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like, God forbid, like, you ever did go commit a crime, that's kind of irresponsible of them too, because like they're accounting for you being there until whatever it is, and then if you're off somewhere doing something, like on their record, like I don't know, you kind of have, I don't know, man, that's kind of fucked up.
It's kind of fucked up, yeah. But
It's really fucked up.
yeah, hence why I just was burnt out on fucking radio because like going from that station to the one up in New Hampshire and whatnot. I was just like, man, I'm sick of the fucking bullshit here.
Yeah.
Like there's no way this culture should be like this, like at all. There's no fucking reason for it.
Have you thought about doing like what Braden's doing now and doing an internet radio thing instead of going for like terrestrial radio?
What do you think we're
Maybe
doing
it's
right
different.
now?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, a legit station, not just our popcorn fart
No,
shit.
no, honestly, man, like
You're
no.
done with that shit?
I'm done with it. Just
Yeah.
just primarily a couple of things. Like number one, like yeah, if you're in radio, yeah, don't expect to get paid a lot, like at all.
Hmm.
The only ones that are making like the really like good money, people that have been in there in the system for years. They've got a bit of a reputation and whatnot. Like he was saying, like the morning show at ZLX, like they're going on their what 15th year or something like that. So like they're making enough to afford a house, to afford a decent car, to afford luxuries in life.
Hmm.
If I'm some schmuck, like there's no mom and pop stations anymore for you to go and like hone your craft like there were back in the old days.
Yeah, that's another problem too, is that now because, well, music sales are down in general, so like radio stations are losing out too. So
Yeah,
they're kind of dying away. Everything's moving to the internet,
yeah,
which isn't a bad thing. It's a change. But like you said, it doesn't give you very many opportunities to hone your craft.
yeah. And I mean, if stations are losing money because of like commercials or whatever have you, like they can easily look at me and just go, well, we can't really afford to pay you.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, well, let me go to
Yeah.
my landlord and just tell him like, hey, I can't really pay the rent this month, but you'll have my undying gratitude for working with me on this.
I have promises
Yeah,
and opportunities. Can I pay you in promises and opportunities?
yeah. And as they said
I
in
have plenty of
Spider-Man,
those.
as I said in Spider-Man 2, if promises were crackers, my daughter would be fat. So, but honestly,
Uh,
man, I enjoy doing this more because we're the ones in control. I don't have to
that's
worry.
true.
I don't have to worry about like sponsors or anything. It'd be great if we had sponsors for the show, make a little cash here for doing it, but I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about a program director breathing down my neck, telling me how much I suck at my job and how much better he could do it. And then when he goes and
Right.
does it, he fucking sucks shit.
Right. That's what I'm here for, is to tell you how much you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I appreciate the honesty. And that
But
tells
that's
me,
also why you're here, is to tell me how I suck at my job.
like, you think I suck at this? Good lord, sir. You are the bastion booger of podcasting.
That indeed. Actually, I'd go more like Friar Ferguson.
Brooklyn baller over here.
Oh man. But no, that's a good point. Like we do have the ability to just do whatever. I mean, obviously we can't play whatever we want. We can't just come up here and start playing, like Led Zeppelin and shit. Not that we would, but like,
No.
so we're not playing music, but we can talk about whatever we want. We can say whatever we want. We don't have any restrictions. Like even, Braden was saying like he can't even really talk about the incident at the Capitol on his station, and it's like we don't have that restriction.
No,
We
we
can
don't
talk
have that
about whatever the
restriction.
fuck we want.
Exactly. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want here because we don't have that restriction.
Yeah.
We're free to do what we want.
Yeah.
And
For better or worse.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of freedom is to me is just incredibly fucking valuable.
Yeah. I'm with
It's,
you. I'm with you. That's how I view like my music, honestly, is because like I mean, not that I have anybody knocking down my door for like a label or whatever, but like I wouldn't really necessarily. I kind of want to stick with independent. Like I know the story about this band that I love, the Murdochs, where like they wanted to hire a ghostwriter to come in and like help him write lyrics and songs and stuff, and he would get signed to a bigger deal and all that stuff. And he was like, no, fuck that. I want to write my own songs. And honestly, that's how I feel too. I don't want someone else coming in and writing my songs. Could they do a better job to finishing it? Yeah, probably. But that's not the point. Like I want to do it. I want it to have my better or worse. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I would stay more independent.
yeah, and I mean it's it's going back to like kind of what I said last week, like that kind of like finishing blow, so to speak, was seeing the ad for, oh hey, we need a morning show guy for Phoenix, Arizona. You need top 10 market experience. We're gonna pay you for
Mm-hmm.
personal appearances. Your morning show, you go from like 5:30 to 9 or whatever have you, and oh by the way, we're gonna pay you $10 an hour. And it's like, yeah, I get like the dollar goes a little bit further out there in Arizona and whatnot, but I mean, how do you live on that?
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, you could like get another job to supplement that, I guess. But like,
Yeah, but
how
it's
many hours would you actually have available to do? Because if you handle it the way that you handled it at ZLX, where you're putting in like so much more time than you're actually on the books for, then you may not really have time for a second job.
yeah.
So.
And keep in mind too, like if I had free time at the house and whatnot, I was either like cleaning up the house or I was fucking writing stuff for them.
Hmm.
That whole senseless survey bullshit.
Oh God, yeah. I remember being in your car sometimes and seeing some of those senseless surveys and shit, being like, "What the hell's that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's just senseless survey."
Yeah, it's like I gotta write this stupid shit for this show. Blah blah blah.
Oh man.
And I think there was. All right, I'll tell you a couple more stories before we
Well, if
move on
nothing
here.
else, you got stories out of it, right? I
Yeah,
mean, hey,
I got stories. I got to meet fucking people and whatnot, man. It
you
was
got some money out of it, but hey, you got stories.
yeah. And hell, I got a bunch of stories I can tell you. Shit.
You want? Oh, I can give you stories by 3 o'clock this afternoon with the nail polish.
Doesn't even. I mean, it's 3:30 in the afternoon here, but yeah, sure.
It is actually. Fuck.
I don't have any nail polish. I got some hand sanitizer, but fuck if that's gonna do anything. Anyways, I'm just trying to figure out which story to tell you first. All right, so for the so when I was there, there was really only like one bit that I said no to, which was they were gonna have Bill Cosby in studio. This is before all the accusations came
Cosby
out and
Gate.
whatnot. Yeah, this is back when Bill Cosby was still America's fun-loving dad. Um,
Oh.
so he was coming into the studio. This is back when I was interning and shit. And Braden came up with the idea. He's like, "This is gonna be great." He's like, "Everybody wear a terrible sweater, and that's gonna be funny as hell. We'll get some pictures with him." And I was just like, "No." I was like, just number one, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of Cosby, and like, B, I don't have a ridiculous sweater, nor do I want one. I'm not gonna go out and buy one just for this one
This
bit for
fucking picture.
yeah, just for like to put on for an hour and then just take it off and fucking throw it out or something.
Yeah,
I was
seriously.
just like, that's a bad idea. I'm not doing that. Pretty much everything else, I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, they were gonna have like the intern Olympics or something like that, and one of the events was they were gonna get like one of those like little like slip and slide things, and they were gonna like they were gonna grease it down with like some. I think it wasn't like sex lube or anything like that, but it was some kind of like lubricant. They're like, all right, you're gonna take off your shirt, talking to